All right, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Today we're talking about how does real estate wholesaling work. I want to break it down, but also I'm going to give you three different secrets that you need to write down, take some notes, because if you're struggling right now to make your real estate wholesaling business work, chances are you are struggling with one of this. Chances are you're not yet exposed to these three secrets right here, and chances are you will continue to struggle unless we get them fixed. Okay, so how does real estate wholesaling work? Before we get into that, I want you to know that I do have a free book for you at myempirepro.com. The name of the book is Empire Lifestyle Secrets. When you do decide to get that book, you will also have instant access to a 7 video free course on smart business empire. If you're not running a smart real estate wholesaling business, you will become obsolete. Your business will become obsolete in a matter of um, less than a year from now. Okay, everything is changing. Real estate wholesaling, the way you used to know it, is dead. Okay, is dead. Why? Because marketers destroy everything. As marketers, by the way, if you don't know, as a real estate wholesaler, primarily your primary job is marketing. Okay, and marketers are known to destroy everything when they saturate the marketplace. All right, so right now I want you to start thinking. Uh your letter showing up with 25 other letters in the mail. Okay, think think your your voice ringless voice tone showing up with a ton of other voiceless ringtones as well on people's mail, and think, how can you stand out? Okay, how can you stand out? There's still the need in the marketplace, just again the market is saturated. And also you have to understand that the people you're going to be dealing with, all these people, because at the end of the day you're also in a people's business. Marketing means you're in a people's business. Okay, you need to attract people. There are 3 P's in any type of business. Matter of fact, let me make sure you see my face before I get into today's content. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, so there are 3 P's in any type of business. There's the product, which we know now that is real estate, right? For you, if you're landing on this video, but your product could be anything. Honestly, your products could be network marketing. It could be another affiliate product out there. The same concept applies. Okay, so the product is the first P. The second P is the process, right? And the third P is the people, right? The process in between is essentially, what process do you use to get the product to the people? Okay, what process would you use to get the product to the people? And you can see that in that outline that I put in there on that screen. Let me go back to the screen real quick. You can see how real estate wholesaling work right there. The motivated seller gives you the product, right? A motivated seller. You only, as a real estate wholesaler, you only deal with motivated sellers. You don't deal with a seller, okay? You don't deal with a person that needs to move to Florida in the next 2 months, but they're not really interested in the deal. They just want to sell their house for top dollars. You're not really interested in a pretty home that doesn't need any kind of work, because there's no way you can add value to that situation. So it's a waste of time talking to a person with a pretty home 99.999% of the time. Okay, so you're dealing with motivated seller. There's a problem. They have a property that they don't want. They absolutely must get rid of that property as of yesterday, and they are borderline desperate, and damn near more than desperate. They are motivated seller. If they're not motivated seller, if there's no reason for them to sell their house as of yesterday, chances are you're going to struggle with trying to get them to give you the house. But anyway, that's the source of the product, right? The real estate, the piece of real estate itself. And the process of getting that to the buyer, okay, which are the people that you're also going to be attracting on the other end, is called real estate wholesaling. Okay, and real estate wholesaling means you put the property under contract from a motivated seller for 65%, okay, or less, 65% of the after repair value, okay, minus the cost of repair if the house needs repairs. Okay, so for example, $100,000 home. Let me make sure that you're not going to be hearing this crazy noise. Sorry about that. All right. For example, $100,000 home is $100,000 home. You want to be able to pick that up for $65,000 maximum. If it needs $10,000 of work, that automatically means your maximum allowable offer will be $55,000. So you take that property and then you take it through a process that's either assigning the contract or double closing, okay, which is again topic that you don't really need to get into the details. You don't need to worry about that details too much because your primary job is the marketing. Just finding and identifying these motivated sellers, distressed properties, distressed home ownerships, right? This is your job. The marketing part of it is your job. Figuring out the technicalities of the double closing or what contract you should use and all this craziness is not really your job. Maybe the contract part, but any contract honestly will do as long as you're dealing with a motivated seller. The best contract in the world will fail if you don't have a motivated seller. It doesn't matter how many clauses you had into that contract, it will fail. Okay, it will simply fail because again you're dealing with a non-motivated seller. Okay, so the process is called real estate wholesaling. Inside of that process of real estate wholesaling, you may be assigning the contract. A lawyer will worry about that craziness for you. Closing agents will worry about that. You just want to make sure you're dealing with investor friendly closing agents and lawyers, right, and attorneys, right, or double closing, right, or many other strategies that you may have out there. But that's the idea right there. There are many other exit strategies out there that doesn't necessarily have to be a double closing. And by the way, if you notice on my screen here, I did not say cash buyer. I said end buyer. End buyer could be anybody. It could be anybody it could be anything from somebody buying their first home to somebody that's buying the 1,000 house, okay, or property. Somebody that's well savvy that's doing the 300 property, right? So it could be any of that as well too. So you don't have to put anybody on a pedestal. You want to treat everybody with respect. Again, it could be somebody with buying their first home. Just what you need to do is what I'm going to get into next here, right? Which is building a list of buyers. Okay. But before I get into that, I want to give you these three secrets. Okay. And these three secrets essentially is going to put you in the top 3% of all of real estate wholesaling, and no one is sharing this. Pretty much what you're going to find out there are people advising people to knock on doors, people advising people to drive for dollars, right? Pretty much mediocre ways of building the business that most people that do them will end up not being in the business. Okay, I want to be clear about something here. I'm going to talk a little bit deeper about driving for dollars later in another video, but the fact of the matter is that any strategy work, right? You could start knocking on doors right now and you will pick up a deal eventually. You could go all the way to Africa, okay, and start knocking on doors that who knows people that live in the United States that want to sell a house. At some point, right? From a number standpoint, you will find somebody that knows somebody in America that may need to sell a house. Okay, but is that really the best strategy for you? I mean, you leave all the way from here, you go to Africa, start knocking on doors all the way in Africa, right? In Nairobi somewhere, and eventually you find somebody that knows the family or cousin that lives in the United States that may have a property to sell. Yes, but does that mean that's what you should do? See, because at some point something works doesn't mean it's the best or the most efficient or the most effective way for you to build a business. Okay. So when people want to argue with me, driving for dollars work, well, it works for the person on the testimonial, right? But the person on the testimonial is typically one out of 1,000 people that have tried to build the business. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Plus, there's too much of luck and hope in that as a variable in that strategy, in that formula. Okay, so what I'm going to give you here is the formula to success that works for anybody that's serious enough to build a business. Okay, I think if you have too much luck or hope as a variable in any equation, you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. Does that mean there are no people out there that it has worked for? Of course, there are people out there it has worked for, of course. But like I said, any strategy, any marketing strategy work. The question is it the most effective and the most efficient way for you to build your business? Do you create a bigger chance for yourself to quit on yourself if you practice some of this crazy mediocre strategies, right? The other day I was listening to another video by another gentleman, a guru guy, who said, you know, driving for dollars is one of the best things I like to do when I have time. What did he just say? He said, when I have time. Who has time, right? Uh, Most people that know how to value their time don't have time. The time that they have is already locked into something, even if that means they're sleeping. It's already budgeted for something. So you can't just walk around and say, "Hey, I got time. Let me just use it on strategies that are not the most effective ones." Okay. So does driving for dollars work? Yes, it can work if you're willing to stick it through and go through the numbers. Is this something I would advise anyone to do? I wouldn't advise my enemy to go through driving for dollars. I just wouldn't do it. It's just not it doesn't position you for longevity. It doesn't position you in a place where you can be motivated to build a business. It positions you in a place where you're going to drive for dollars in the sun or in the rain, in the snow, and eventually you're going to drive the city for like 7 hours. You're not going to find any deal. You're going to write down a bunch of vacant properties, and you're not going to find any deals from that, and then you're going to give up on yourself. It just positions you in a very bad place in terms of your chances of staying and lasting long in the business. Okay, so that's why I don't recommend it to anybody, especially in this digital age. That internet marketing is the easiest thing since sliced bread. Okay, it makes no sense to be burning gas, to be burning your engine oil, to be burning mileage looking for deals on the streets. Even starting from a point of, you can actually, there are actually websites out there where you can, or there are phone numbers you can call that can send you a list of all the vacant properties in a lot of the major cities, right? So why would you? It's not, you're not thinking leverage. If you're thinking that's a strategy that works, you're not thinking leverage. Leverage means you beat time at his own game. Okay, efficiency, like efficient. You got to think efficient, effectiveness, right? Effectiveness is at all time low when you're dealing with driving for dollars or you're knocking on doors. This is not effective in 2018 and beyond. It's simply just not an effective strategy. And if you want to take the data of people that have tried it and people that have closed deals from that, then we can go from there. Now, that can also be said about internet marketing, but typically, um, internet marketing, if it doesn't work for someone, is because the person did not do the work. Okay. See, with driving for dollars, you could do the work and still won't work. Okay. With internet marketing, the only way it won't work is if you don't do the work. Two different things I want you to pay attention to right there. Okay. So, with that being said, let's dive into secret number one here. Secret number one: get in front of massive traffic of buyers and sellers, preferably buyers. Okay. Now, I got to look at you in the face when I'm talking to you about this one. Okay. This is what I mean. Okay. When McDonald's want to put another franchise store in your neighborhood, where do they go? Do they go in the residential area in a cul-de-sac, or they find the place with the highest traffic and they position their store right there? What about Burger King? Or what about Wendy's? Or what about any of these companies? As a matter of fact, when they want to put a storefront out, where do they go? Right? The last place that they go, that's not necessarily a street with a high traffic, is the mall. What's the commonality between the mall and the street with a high traffic? High traffic of people. Okay, why? Why wouldn't they put it in the cul-de-sac? I live on a cul-de-sac, so I say that a lot. Right? Why would they put it on a on a dead end street? Right? Because there's no traffic. There's no flowing traffic. Right? So why would you want to build your business in a place where you put yourself in a dead end? Right? Knocking on doors or driving for dollars is a dead end. Okay, there's no traffic. Okay, of motivated sellers. What you have is traffic of houses, but that's not the people. At the end of the day, like I mentioned something here earlier, you're in the business of people. You're in the business of people more than you're in the business of real estate, because this concept is applicable to any concept out there. To any business out there. This concept is applicable to any business out there. So I need you to pay attention to that when I say you need to get in front of massive traffic of buyers and sellers. Now, there's a last little clause right there that I put that say preferably buyers. Okay. Now, why preferably buyers? Because Sellers don't bring money to the table, okay? And frankly, there's just way too many real estate wholesalers in the market for you to be competing with if you have limited resources. If you're limited on resources in terms of marketing dollars for your direct mail, right? In terms of marketing dollars for any other paid marketing strategies out there, if you're limited and you know that you can't really afford, you can't even afford $1,000 per month for marketing. If you can't do that, then the best place to put yourself, the best and the most leveraged way to position yourself in the game is to bring buyers to the table. Get good at building a buyers list, okay? And when I say buyers list, I'm not talking about cash buyers, okay? I'm talking about buyers, people that they are going to sign on the dotted lines, and that's going to result in cash in your bank account. It doesn't have to be cash already. It could be mortgage, it could be any type of funding that they have access to, as long as they are going to be able to close, right? And they have some kind of funds coming from somewhere, then they qualify. Okay. And it doesn't matter if they are closing their first house. Because I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and it was like, oh, yeah, that's something I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with people that are not experienced, that don't know what they're looking for. Because my buyers, when I send them a house, they already know what they're looking for. And then he's complaining about not having enough deals because he's stuck on looking for the criteria of the quote unquote cash buyers. If you find yourself stuck in a zone, in a dead end, remember I was talking about dead end, right? If you find yourself stuck in a dead end, chances are you're building the business the old school way, okay? And honestly, it's not going to fly much longer. I give you just 1 year, you're going to be out of business if you don't find a way to get yourself in, get your business in front of massive traffic of buyers and sellers. And if you're brand new, you haven't closed your first deal, I'm going to tell you right now that you're going to be getting faster to your closing your first deal when you focus on building a buyers list. And here's another beautiful thing about building a buyers list. The buyers come from mainstream. It could be anybody, okay? It could be anybody that can qualify for a mortgage, okay? It doesn't need any special criteria like the seller side of the equation. And on the seller side of the equation, you need motivated sellers. Okay, it's a smaller sector of the marketplace. Okay, so for example, all the houses on the market right now, it's a very small sector of that will pass as a motivated seller. Most of the people that want to sell their houses are people that want to sell and make top dollars. They want to sell it for the top dollars, right? That means they want all the equity out of the house, and rightfully so. Okay, that's not your market zone. Your market is a smaller part of the sector, that those people that have a distress situation, they're facing pre-foreclosure, they're in divorce, they have a property they inherited that they don't really want and is accruing taxes, tax delinquents, right? Probate is what I mentioned earlier, inheritance that they don't want, right? And all those kind of situation are the smaller part of the market. Okay, because once that become a bigger part of the market, that's a very bad market, and that affects the whole economy. That's the situation you had in 2008, right? But when you have an economy that's okay and healthy, then a smaller part of the market is what you're dealing with. And that means you cannot really have a massive traffic. Okay. You can't have a massive traffic in that sense. Okay. You're going to have a small size of the market, and you need to know how to target them. Okay. And you need, and marketing to them is pretty expensive because it's a small part of the market. It's pretty expensive in so many different ways. For example, number one, it's very costly to send direct mail. On top of that, your direct mail, your letters are showing up with 25 other letters from other real estate wholesalers, because again, the gurus keep teaching people. They're in every major city every weekend. They keep teaching new people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's going to destroy the marketplace. Okay, destroy the marketplace means there's a market shift. It means if you're not paying attention, you're going to get stuck in the middle of all those people trying to fight for the same motivated seller, and then you're going to become this gentleman that says there's no deals, right? So there's a shift going on. Clearly there is. Okay, and you need to position yourself to capitalize on it. Okay, because anytime there's a shift going on, energy is neither destroyed nor created, right? It's just transferring from one place to the other. You need to pay attention. Where is it transferring to? It's transferring, the money is really transferring to the people that pay attention to the new wave of marketing. Where's the traffic right now today? The traffic is right here. traffic is on the phone. Everybody is doing this, right? How did you find me? Chances are you're watching me on a mobile phone right now. Okay, that's where the traffic is. The traffic, the letters, people pick up their letters, but they get email notification for the most important bills. They don't have to open the mailbox. Like for me, I don't have to open my mailbox ever if I don't want to. Okay, I open it because they send some junk sometimes. There's some, some dinosaur type of services that I have, a few that end up in there, right? So I check it. I check it, but I don't have to check it every day. Unlike 10 years ago, unlike 20 years ago. Okay, so but the point I'm making here is this. Okay, secret number one, you got to position in front of massive traffic, especially if you are brand new, you haven't closed your first deal. The best leverage you can apply to your business is to position yourself in front of massive traffic. And massive traffic is much more applicable on the buyer side of things, because anyone can buy any of these discounted properties. And they don't have to be the property that you generated as a lead, I mean motivated seller. It could be your joint venturing with another person that's already in the market, that already has a deeper pocket to keep sending the direct mail, or they know what they're doing. Maybe they have their ways. They put a lot of bandit signs out there. They don't mind being called by the code, the enforcement code of the city, to put down signs, which I have gotten a call before. Okay, that's why I don't do them, because I've gotten calls before, and I was threatened by the city inspection that I was going to get $1,500 per sign ticket, that I had to go pull them all down. That's not a good place to be. That's not a fun place to be, where you're getting that kind of call. But there are people that still does that, right? That are willing to risk whatever they have. It's not worth it for me, because actually internet marketing, where all the traffic is, mobile marketing is cheaper. It's cheaper for me to create deals and close deals. It's cheaper that way. So why would I want to do that? Okay. So again, there's still going to be people that will be doing that. And again, when I position in front of big traffic, it also allow me to attract opportunities. Okay. Gary Vaynerchuk calls it content marketing, which is what we do on the internet, is the gateway drug to opportunities. People are going to look at you as the expert. When they have a house to sell, or they have another house to sell, or something like, they're going to come to you first if they know you, because they know that you create a lot of content around this, and on a subconscious level, you've built a brand, which we're going to talk about that later in a few minutes here, right? That you've built that trust. Okay, more importantly, you've built a trust where they say, no, 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 I know Ola is into real estate. Let me call him, and I get calls like that all the time. Okay, so that's a great place to. That's a better place to be in. Okay, all right. So let's go. With that being said, let's go on to secret number two, because they're kind of like they're different, but they're interwoven somehow, some way. Okay. Secret number two: never send money. Okay, sorry, never spend money is what I need to say. Never spend money on marketing that doesn't create living connection. What is living connection? I guess that's the question that you may be asking right now. What is a living connection? So a living connection is a connection that I make with you that is not one time. Okay. So that's a new one, but I want you to pay attention to it. It's very, very strong. This one right here will make or break your chances of being in this business long term, or you getting wiped out before you even get started. Okay. What is living connection? Okay, let me explain it a little bit more. Okay, there is living connection and there's dead connection. When you create a marketing piece and you market out to motivated sellers or buyers, right, or to gurus, cash buyers, right, when you send marketing out to those people, you create a connection. If they end up picking that up, if they pick up whatever you sent to them, a letter, you create some kind of connection. But you can categorize those connections into two different types: there's living connection and there's dead connection. Dead connection is they pick it up, they dump the letter in the mailbox, sorry, in the garbage. That's a dead connection. Okay, and it's not necessarily because they drop it in the garbage. It's actually more because you now have no way to connect with them ever again unless you spend another money. Okay. A living connection means you can still connect with people without spending a dime. Yes, you may have spent money at first on marketing, direct mail, internet marketing, whatever you want to call it, ringless voice mails, right? Whatever strategy you're using, right? You may have spent money first, right? And you created a connection, right? But it's a dead connection if you cannot create further connection with them beyond today unless you spend money again, right? But it's a living connection if once you create that connection, without spending money, you can still connect with them over and over again. AKA, you can follow up with them over and over again. AKA, you don't have to spend money again. They are now in your habit. They are now in your, you could call it tribe, right? They're now in within that magnetic force that you've created in the marketplace, because we're going to talk about traction here in a second, right? They're now within that magnetic force. And as you continue to build your business and your daily regular activities in your real estate wholesaling business, will kind of like continue to pull them because they were targeted in the first place. They were a targeted part of the market for your business in the first place. But now you don't have to spend money over and over. And I'm telling you, this right here is going to help a lot of people go broke too fast, because most of the marketing strategies that is being taught out there is essentially you create dead connection. Okay. For example, driving for dollars. Let's say you pick up a property, right? And you send out letters to them, right? If they pick up that letter and they call you, great, awesome. But what are the chances that they're going to pick up your letter and call you? Remember, your letter is showing up with 25 other letters. Okay. Number two, they may just miss the letter. Okay, it's going to end up in the garbage. Number three, you have their contact information, but you have the address, right? But the only way to continue to connect with them is to, again, spend money on sending another letter. Okay. And if you know anything about marketing, you need an average of 5 to 7 different connections to establish the kind of level of trust that you need for people to pull the trigger. In other words, to buy from you or decide to do business with you. So if all you can do is send the letter one time, the business is already doomed, right? And if you could spend money over and over and over again, it puts you in a bad position because your cost is extremely high. Now, if you're now competing with all those people sending direct mail to these same people over and over and over again, 25 other letters showing up, the chances that your letters will get picked up is extremely diminished. And then people wonder why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the numbers are against you, because you are spending money on marketing that creates dead connection. Okay, it is connection, and yes, that dead connection can become a deal, but that will be you got lucky. Okay, and I always tell people getting lucky or luck should not be part of your variables in your formula. I will use luck when I have it. I get more luckier in the game because I create content, and because I create brand, and everybody knows who I am because I create this thing that creates continue to create exposure for me, right? But I don't depend on luck. Okay, I do certain things strategically to make sure that I get luckier. Does that make sense? But luck by itself is not part of my formula. Hope is not part of my strategies by itself. Okay, I do use hope, of course, because I'm marketing. I'm a marketer. I need faith. A lot of times I need faith. I have down days. I have days that I feel like things are not working as fast as they should work, and I have those moments. And I'm human, like everybody else. But when it's time for me to design a strategy to build my business, hope and luck is not part of that strategy. Faith is, because sometimes if you're brand new, you set things up and you gotta wait, and the numbers need to consolidate. I reach out for you to believe or to build that belief system that will keep you going. Okay, but education can help with that. Experience can help with that to replace all of that as well. I call it the 2 E's. Okay, so with that being said, the second secret I'm talking about here is never spend money. Okay, never spend money on marketing that doesn't create a living connection. That's the idea that I'm sharing with you. A lot of you are buying into ideas that create dead connection. Driving for dollars creates dead connection because not only are you burning gas, you're wasting time, you're killing your own belief system, because now you're going to say this doesn't work. Well, it's not that it doesn't work. It's a strategy that's not efficient enough. It's not effective. Now, there's going to be a testimonial out there that it worked for. That doesn't mean it's efficient. Okay, that doesn't mean you should do it. That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to stay in the business long enough for it to work for you. Because again, there's too much luck. Luck. I mean, Luck. Okay, my accent want to make sure you hear that. There's too much luck and hope involved in that strategy, and I don't advise you to involve yourself in strategies that just involve too much luck and hope while you're actually burning resources, meaning your engine oil, your gas, your brakes, on all those stopovers. You could pull down a list of vacant properties from the internet. You could start from that. But even at that, direct mail, again, like I said, is a dead connection for way too many reasons. I want you to watch this video over and over and over until you get what I'm saying. You may need to watch this video 5 times to really grasp what I'm saying. Never spend another dime again on marketing that creates dead connection. What is the solution to that? You need to spend all your marketing dollars on marketing that helps you build a list, so you can continue to market to your list over and over. That's why we call it living connection. You can market to your list over and over for free. You can create connect, because people need multiple connections with you before they can decide to trust you enough, before they can decide to trust you enough to do business with you. So people need to know, like, and trust you. We call it the KLT. The KLT. They need to know, like, and trust you. They know the KLT factor, right? And honestly, it's not really the KLT. It's that they have to feel like they know, like, and trust you. And a lot of time, people need multiple exposure to who you are, to what you stand for, what you're about, before they can, especially that trust factor. As you see, the trust, the T is the last one, K. They have to know you first. Like you, they have to feel like they like you. But even if they don't like you, it could be they hate you enough to trust you, right? There are situations like that sometimes, because like and hate are not exactly opposite of each other. Indifferent is opposite of like and hate, right? So when people say, I can't stand him, but he's saying the truth, right? And they keep following everything you're saying, because you are, in fact, the truth. Okay. And that's what I'm sharing with you here. Okay. All right. So the secret number 2: only spend money on marketing that create living connection. That means you build a list so you can follow up over and over again without spending additional money. It's, if you think about it, it's a great way to reduce cost of marketing. And obviously, when you reduce cost, it maximizing profit, because your job as an entrepreneur is to maximize profit. And if you don't maximize profit, there's somebody else next door maximizing profit, and you're going to be out of business only a matter of time. Again, there's a massive market shift that's going on with the real estate wholesale game, and you need to pay attention. And no one is talking about this. I promise you, no one is talking about this. Okay. Now, if you bring if you market on what do you call it? If you market on Facebook, and you upload a list of motivated, not motivated, a list of pre-foreclosures, a list of expired listings, if you upload those things into Facebook, the reason why I don't like the strategy, it works if you have enough list. The reason why I don't like the strategy is because it's not a lot of traffic. And if it's not a lot of traffic, the numbers are going to be all over the place. You're not going to be able to track properly. So unless you are doing multiple cities and you're doing like the whole of United States or something like that, the numbers can be quite off, because when you're marketing online, you need a solid sample of data for you to benefit out of how it works. But it's doable if you're patient. It's doable, and it's definitely cheaper than doing it the traditional way. Secret number 3. Let's go to secret number 3. Okay. All right. So now all of this stuff, by the way, you can get a lot more details about it and how it works in the book. You can download the book at www.myempirepro.com. Secret number 3: lead everything with your personal brand. Attraction marketing. People don't do business with businesses. Okay. People want to be very quick to go create an LLC. They want to be very quick to start a website. But the truth of the matter is that it's not necessarily about your website. It's much more about funnels and your brand and the process you take people through. Okay. The experience that people have when they decide to get exposed to what you're offering, right? It's really more about that. And if there's one factor that, because this is applicable in relationships as well too, right? If there's one reason why your business will fall apart, is because your business does not have enough attraction. It doesn't have enough attraction current. Okay. Remember, I was talking about the magnetic currents that keep pulling people to you, because in the first place, you've only spent money on living connections. In other words, the connections are there, but now you're able to create and build even a bigger and bigger attraction on a daily basis. Okay. Lead everything. The number one solution to that is to lead everything with your personal brand. Okay. Your personal brand. Of course, your personal brand needs to come with value. Okay. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to actually say that here. I'm gonna adjust that right there. And so say lead everything with your personal brand and value. Okay. Have value. You need to be adding value. The best way to personal brand is not to say, hey, I'm pretty, look at me. Of course, it's not about that, right? It's not about saying I'm pretty, look at me, right? One second here. Let's make sure that yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not, yeah. So the best way is not about, sorry about that, guys. The best way is not to say, "Hey, look at me, I'm pretty." The best way to build your personal brand is you, of course, you show up, you identify a problem that somebody has, right? Or a question that they have, you help them answer that question, you help them solve the problem. Okay. And if you do enough of that, that's called adding value, by the way. You do enough of that, you're going to build a massive attraction current in the marketplace, and people are going to assign the very you, your personal brand, to somebody who helps them get through life, somebody who enhance their life, their lifestyle, and their business. Okay. And you need to apply that in everything you do here. So for example, if I was building a bias list, I will be coming from a standpoint of I am answering the questions that people would normally have if they're buying real estate. Okay. There are a ton of people out there in the marketplace. You could go on Facebook, you see people that already like pages where you know they're interested in real estate, but they haven't had enough people, like regular people, that can answer their question. Typically the gurus are extremely costly, right? It costs $10,000 to have a guru talk to you, and pretty much all of that talking to you is going to be by email too, right? So if you, that's a luxury that you have over the guru doesn't have the time. Maybe you still have time, and you can build your business that way, and you can close a lot of deals by building your business in a consultative marketing and selling way. Okay. In other words, you come to the table with solutions, with answers to people's problems. And when you do that, by default, you build a brand. By default, you're adding value. By default, you're practicing attraction marketing. Any real estate wholesaler that's not practicing attraction marketing will fail. I give it one more year before you get wiped out of business. Chances are you're already feeling the pain in your business. Chances are you can't find any deal in the marketplace right now because the deals are going to the people that knows that building a brand, leading with a personal brand and adding value, creating content, becoming a producer for the marketplace, for where the traffic reside. The traffic is online, right? For creating a presence up there, chances are all your deals are going to them. When you send a letter to people, they go Google more information about it. Can they find you? If they can't find you, your business is doomed. Okay, that makes sense. You should listen to what I just said 5 times. Rewind the video and watch it 5 times, 10 times for that to make sense to you. If it hasn't made sense yet, when you send a letter to people's house, they're going to go Google more information about what you're saying. If they can't find you, you just lost money. You created a dead connection, and you wonder, and you now start wondering, like everybody else, how come it's not working? I sent letters. I've sent about 2,000 letters. I spent $3,000 last month. Oh yeah, but no money came in. Why? You know why? Because you're creating dead connection, and the market is not supporting that model anymore. You have to have a follower where you can a followership where you can create living connection, and people can continue to build their trust in you while you're building your brand. Okay, remember, it's about KLT, the KLT factor: know, like, trust. And it's about feeling like they know, like, and trust you. It doesn't have to be reality. It could just because they've seen enough videos from you, right? So am I telling you to shoot videos? Well, you ask yourself that. Are the gurus shooting videos? So why would you ever shy away from something you know the people that are creating success in the game are doing? The one that are consistently creating the success. I'm not talking about the person that closed one deal from driving from dollars and hasn't closed another deal since then. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you want to build a real empire behind this, right? You want to build this like a real business in a predictable manner, in a predictable manner. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this 3 secrets is for. Okay. So that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that was helpful. If you want more of this kind of information, you want it broken down a little bit more, you can go ahead and download my free book. Okay. It's broken down very simply. It's at myempirepro.com. Okay. And when you get inside, you will get a chance also to book a personal session with me, if you want me to help you with a strategy session to help you build your business, I'll give you a free 30 minutes. Okay, you will have access to that same page. Just go through my empirepro.com, because chances are you don't have anybody you can ask questions from. I guarantee you there's nobody else out there, right? But we're here, we've made room for that so we can actually help you. And if you like this video, please like it, click like. If anything I said so far made sense to you, please click on it, click like, share the video, click share with everyone, your loved ones, share on your social media wall. If you have any questions, specific questions, contributions, or anything like that, please use the comment box below. Absolutely, I would love to connect with you. Hopefully you've been educated, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated, and I will see you on the next one. And peace. See you later.